Tonight's game recap is brought to you by Peterson Toyota. An exciting first half of basketball at the Spectrum. The Rams and the Aggies, we knew it would be highly contested. And David Collette and Utah State with a 1-point lead here at the Spectrum in Stu Morrill's final game here in Logan, Utah.
The last regular season game for both teams with a lot on the line, momentum. You see Colorado State has done a pretty acceptable job. They gave up a couple early and then got out and started defending the three-point line. And with all the emotion in that first 5 minutes, actually held the lead after 5 minutes, so a great job there. Utah State has done it all year and gotten out-rebounded all year. I'm amazed that they're this close, being out-rebounded by 10 rebounds. And they've done a pretty good job of controlling the tempo. As I said, Mark, I think for them to be successful, this game needs to be in the 60s and not in the 70s.
And we're looking at that right now. Utah State did lead in the first half by as many as 7. Another thing that hasn't been done well in the first half, three-point shooting between the two teams, 4 for 20.
Well, two very good defensive teams in general. Larry Stacey and Stu Morrill both kind of hang their reputation, their hat on playing defense. They're both good offensively, but it doesn't surprise me that neither team has shot the ball very well from three or very well overall.
There's J.J. Avila. The J.J., by the way, stands for Jose Juan. His dad was Joseph John, and they called him Little J. Well, then he got to high school, and he wasn't little anymore, getting to 6'8". So you know what his Twitter handle is? @NotLittleJ. So he became J.J., and we know why now with the first half he's had.
From McAllen, Texas, down in the Rio Grande Valley. Boy, he's had a sensational career. We talked about he only needs a handful more points to get to 1,000 points at Colorado State. He's already at almost 1,700 for his college career.
Right.
Had a great 2-year career at the Naval Academy. Decided, well, that's not the life I want to lead, and transferred to Colorado State. He's just been sensational.
Stu Morrill's laughing because Larry Eustace just got out to the court and onto the bench for the Rams. You see him, he's just about to sit down at the top of the screen. So a little delay before we get it going in the second half with the Aggies.
Two really, really good coaches. Over 1,000 wins between the two of them. Over 50 years of head coaching experience between the two of them.
More on Avila, and it's stripped out of his hands, and there's J.J. again making an impact.
I'm not too sure there wasn't a foul there, but I tell you, the officials have been extremely consistent tonight. That hasn't been a foul all night, so I don't expect them to change that. They've kind of let them play here tonight.
Larry Spalding, Ryan McDaniel, Jimmy Cases. Avila backing in on Moore, and not going to go. Smith will grab the rebound.
The Aggies will come double team down there only after Avila puts the ball on the court, not on the catch.
Perkins kind of running things from the point, backs it out. Moore, Perry. Daniels banging with Collette. Freshman head fake, and two.
Wow.
Looks like a pro move.
It did. I did. You know, they list him at 6'8". I'm not sure he's not a little bit bigger than that, but he's got long arms and really, really good feet, as he just demonstrated on that post move. Kevin McHale-like in the post.
Obviously going to go right at him. And misses again. There's Joe Deciman, who had a quiet first half. So did Bejarano. There's Daniel. Short.
Bejarano was a preseason first-team pick in the Mountain West Conference, and he's kind of had a tough year. He's battled injuries all year. I asked him before the game, are you healthy? He just kind of grinned at me and said, you know, I'll get through.
Yeah.
He's a great kid, transfer from University of Arizona.
Smith had the look at the three, got it!
Wow.
Teammates love it, his fans love it. And it's a 6-point lead for the Aggies.
Terrific pass by the freshman, Julian Perry. And what a great catch and shoot guy Chris Smith is.
Decimate has it stripped.
Look at this great elevation on his jump shot. Number one, it was a great find by Julian Perry on this draw and kick. Look at that little rhythmic hop as he catches it to really help with that quick release he has. Boy, he's having a great night. He's had a great year.
10 on the shot clock. Avila. A look for Decimate. Rims around. Into the hands of Perkins. And Smith, another three. Yup! A 9-point lead, the largest of the night for Utah State as they come out hot in the second half. Wow, Avila gets stripped up. Collette doesn't believe it as JJ goes to the ground. Look at Smith, back-to-back threes.
Mark, he caught that in a full gallop. He's got great feet for a shooter. When that ball hits his hands, his feet are set. He's got a low center of gravity, and he rhythms right to his shot.
And he has 19, a game-high 19. Kid steps back, and yep, he'll get the shooter's bounce.
I think Chris Smith's career high this year's 25 here against BYU in one of those great in-state rivalry games.
Harris back on. Collette takes a seat with 3 fouls. Smith, I thought that was going to go for him. Utah State's going to keep the basketball.
Well, they should have given him a point just for getting close on that. He got bumped at the three-point line, bumped again in the paint. Again, the officials, I love their consistency. They're letting them play, but you better not be faint of heart in this game, let me tell you, especially when that ball goes up in the glass.
Out to Perkins. Harris in front of him. Smith, baseline. Up, foul. He'll go to the line. He has been Mr. Energy. We talked about Sean Harris, the senior, being an energy guy, but look at Smith. He was determined.
Remember, he shot it in big time from 3. Remember the pull-up floater he hit early in the game? That time getting it all the way to the basket.
So Smith, 6 of 8 from the floor. And he shot well from the line for his 20 points in the game. Bejarano grabs the ball. Bejarano steps around Moore. Kick out. And that's going to rim around. Rams can't get it, but they get the board from Kidd. Lavelle missed the long one. Bejarano underneath. And not going to go for Daniels. Ivers trying to go up by double digits here at home. Quick one. Perkins. Nope. Knocked around Kidd. He'll bring it up himself and stop.
Perkins has had a great conference season shooting in for 3, but the last 2 games he's really struggling.
There's one motion. Kind of looked down like he got nicked on that runner.
You know, again, he's got those old school moves that you'd see, you know, playing for Joe's Tavern in the adult league. You know, for those 40-year-old guys, sometimes when he jumps, you can't even slip a small-town phone book under his feet.
Well, that was a move and a shot by a guy that's in college and is a sophomore, Jalen Moore.
What a great game. We're seeing some great individual performances by some great individuals tonight.
There's Avila again. And then you look at his college stats and you go, oh, wait a minute. I remember you.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't know if he's an NBA player, but he can go somewhere overseas and play forever and make a lot of money.
Smith been the man of the night. And it's knocked down. It'll stay Aggies basketball with 20 on the shot clock. Utah State has come out hot in the second half. With that 3, they are up 45-38 on CSU. Mountain West Basketball on Root Sports is brought to you by Home State Bank, providing award-winning banking to Northern Colorado for 65 years. What a day it was here in Logan. I don't know, it might have been almost 70 degrees. Our crew had a chance to tour Rock Slide Engineering. And Rock Slide is a local company. They manufacture custom Jeep parts and accessories. Joe, we have a lot of off-road enthusiasts in the crew, and they wanted to let you know that, I don't know, maybe if you slide off in Sardine Canyon, these guys can help you out. Rock Slide Engineering.
Well, I don't do a whole lot of off-road anything. Maybe if there's a beer joint over there, I may stop off the road and stop on the way home.
I hear you.
You know, that's about all the off-roading I do, Mark.
What a day here in
Logan, it's been a beautiful day. I don't know, on a clear day like this, I don't know if there's a more beautiful drive than coming up Sardine Canyon from Highway 15 to get to Logan. Chances are you'll see a moose, a deer, beautiful snow-capped mountains. This is just a beautiful, beautiful setting.
And what a night so far for the Aggies. Up 7, 20 on the shot clock. They get it in. Harris will bring Perkins out to run the show.
Perkins has had a very quiet night. The kid that's averaging 9 points a game and one of the leading three-point shooters in the league has yet to make a basket. Silly foul there by J.J. Avia. The great night he's had. That is always a foul when you reach from behind on post defense.
He shakes his head. It's his second on the night, second team foul here on the Rams. Smith already has 20. And he draws a foul. Clavel didn't think he got a hand in, but they're going to call it on number 3.
Really quick feet by Clavel, who is an outstanding perimeter defender, great lateral quickness, and then he let him off the hook by reaching in like that. Again, kind of a silly foul. It's 2 in a row for the Rams.
And a new shot clock, of course, for the Aggies.
Now they're playing a little bit more conventional lineup with Bejarano as the 2 and Gillen as the 1.
There's Avila with the takeaway. And the turnover gives the Rams the basketball.
Well, if it's not an obvious foul tonight, like Colorado State's first 2, they're not calling it.
Smith stepped in on that drive by Bejarano. But they're going to call the foul on Perry. The traffic as Bejarano went down the lane.
And you almost got to call that when someone stumbles that way and they get their feet mixed up. You know, I know that the defender never feels like he fouls there, but again, that's almost, anytime you put the offense at a disadvantage, that's got to be called.
Bejarano, he has 2 in the game. Now he has 5. And if he can catch fire, that's big for the Rams.
He's really effective with that step back to his left. He kind of rocks you to sleep with the ball and then takes a step back, especially to his left, to create space to shoot from. He's been very effective his whole career with that.
There he is with a rebound, and Avila gets it from Bejarano, who gets it back. Wow, a long 3. Oh, and it goes down for Clavel. And all of a sudden, it's 45-44.
Clavel has hit some of the most acrobatic shots this year when I've had them, just like that I've seen from any individual in the league this year.
Well, it's Bejarano to Avila, to Bejarano, to Kidd, back to Clavel. McGlaston, left hand, no, not going to go, but he'll go to the line.
Watch Clavel. Not only is he an outstanding shooter, he hits acrobatic and tough shots. Just like that, a full gallop going to his left, over a hand, then rimmed in, out, back in. Give me 3.
Got the drain, got it down. McGlaston shooting 2.
As I said, Colorado State has one of the most athletic and talented benches in the entire Mountain West Conference, if not the most talented bench, bringing Clavel, Gillen, and then Fred Richardson off the bench, all 3 guys who can put up big numbers at a blink of an eye.
Aggies back up by 3.
The Aggies now, excuse me, after a made basket, they can get back to their zone defense. Boy, they fell asleep at the switch on that one.
Stanton Kidd has had a nice night, maybe quiet, but certainly contributed.
He's a very good player, played on the National Junior College Championship team in Texas, and then he went to North Carolina Central, where he was on the All-MEAC team.
Gillen stepped out on Smith and commits the foul. Back comes Collette, and Henry Bolton will check in.
Well, the pace has slowed down a little bit now, Mark. I think both teams showing a little bit of fatigue. Now, remember, this is both teams' second game of the week. Did we just get a technical foul there?
Larry Eustachy's not happy. I know we have a timeout on the floor. It's a one-point game, 47-46. We'll take a break. We'll figure out what Larry Eustachy's not happy with when we come back to Logan. .27 to go in the second half. Utah State was up 33-32 at the half. They're up by one, 47-46. Stu Morrill's final game here, the end of an era. And Susan Strand in our truck went around town, took some photos. That's at the Phillips 66 on Main Street in Logan. They were camping out way before tip-off here at the Spectrum. A lot of people with these Morrill 17, marking the 17 seasons t-shirts. And you know what? It's spring break. Some of the students are gone. So guess what? They had such a clamor for seats, they had to reserve them for the fans here as they come to see Stu Morrill. Sue's pretty talented, huh?
What a photographer Sioux City Sue is there. She has so many hidden talents. I'll give you a little.
Talk about talent.
Talk about talent. Now, that kid has one of the prettiest shooting strokes in the league. I said his dad was a great player here. I'm sure he had him out in the driveway at an early age working on that shot.
Oh, nice pass. Collette on his back. No foul. He got it. Put back on the rebound. So another spurt here for the home team.
I was going to give you a little trivia about those multicolored seats that we saw. Those are to resemble the autumn colors coming up the canyon.
That was off by Cravell. And McGlasson has it knocked away. Utah State up 52-46. Jalen Moore having a nice night. He now has double digits in 27 of 29 games this year. Aggies have scored the last 5 points to take a 52-46 lead. They practice at the Wayne Estes Center, and today he was honored, Coach. And you know about what happened 50 years ago in 1965.
This is the 50th anniversary of Wayne Estes' death. After a game, he'd scored 48 points and went over the 2,000-point mark in his career. He was the second leading scorer in the nation at the time. After that game, he and some teammates went out for some pizza, and as they were walking back on the corner of the campus, there'd been an automobile accident, and a loose electrical wire was hanging down. Wayne walked under that, it grazed his head, and instantly killed him. Just one of the most tragic and unusual deaths in college basketball.
Yeah, he was remembered here at the Spectrum on this big day for the Aggies. 10 on the shot clock. McGlasson got away from it, he gets it back. Looks up, 5 on the clock. See if Moore gets it off. He just throws it up. That's off. Bounces around, and there's Bejarano for another board.
Glaston getting big minutes tonight. I think a little bit. Perkins not having much to contribute at the offensive end. Stu Morrill trying to look for another contributor out there offensively.
Bejarano trying to contribute. Little stumble, but didn't pick up his feet.
Bejarano has lost kind of a half a step due to his injuries. He's shown very little explosion this year when he used to be very, very explosive. He's had foot, ankle, knee problems, and it's really, really slowed his game down. Wow, that's big. 4 fouls on Collette. That's kind of been a bugaboo with him all year with 10 minutes to play. He has fouled out of 9 games this year.
Oh, Clavell. Well, I think he went too much for maybe the dunk.
Wow.
Because he had a step and a half.
Yes, he did. He exploded by JoJo McGlaston.
Smith. Not going to roll in. Gets the board. And the putback. It's been that kind of a night for Chris Smith.
What a great second jump and a great second effort, pulling that ball out of the fire there and laying it back up.
Underneath runner, Bejarano kick out. Avila. Daniel stops, shoots. That rainbow shot, but look who's there. JJ on the spot.
I watched Avila that whole offensive possession. Once he passed to the corner, he went right down and established himself as a weak side rebounder there and carved out some space. And guess what? The ball bounced right in his hands on the weak side.
And there's McGlaston with an empty lane to drive. Bejarano spin. Tough shot, put back. Goodbye, Clavell.
As I mentioned earlier in the game, one of the liabilities of this matchup defense is weak side rebounding. Clavell went untouched to the offensive glass there. That's back-to-back second shots that the Aggies have given up for scores.
Clavell forced that shot to come into his hands from Smith. CSU down 6, 8:45 left in the half. Quick pass underneath. Clavell grabs it. They're going to cut a foul on the freshman who checked in for Collette. It's going to go against Jones.
If you are guarding J.J. Avila on the perimeter, you better have high hands or he will just pick you apart. That's about the third pass he's made tonight from 30 feet out on the perimeter. And, of course, at 6'8", he can throw over guard. But, again, I would urge my players, if you're around him, to make it difficult for him to throw over you.
Behind the refs, Gene Clavell heading to the line. He'll shoot a couple. Clavell has 8 in the game. Nails the first of 2. Substitutions for both sides. For Smith, he's going to sit down with his 22 points and get a breather.
Colorado State with 14 offensive rebounds right now, Mark, with 9 minutes to go. Larry Stacy's team has always been a great rebounding team, and that's been a real bugaboo with the Aggies all year, but 14 offensive rebounds, that is a bunch with 9 minutes to go.
Perkins fires the 3, and it's good! 59-50, Aggies. Gillen draws the foul. Boy, Perkins, I didn't think he was going to shoot, and all of a sudden he lets go for the 3.
A nice read for him. His man goes under that ball screen, Clavell, instead of over the top. And I've seen him do that many times this year. He's got a real knack for understanding. If that guy goes under, I'm going to stop and shoot him.
Perry, who's trying to walk off, I think, a right leg that's tightened up.
Utah State needs to kind of tighten those gaps up. Colorado State getting very aggressive off the dribble, especially Gillen and Clavell.
In that replay, we could see that Perry got stepped on underneath the bucket. Utah State by 6 now. Perkins, another 3. Not going to go back-to-back. And it's going to go the way of Utah State. Fans can't believe it. Neither can Stu Morrill.
Good bit of officiating here. Both officials away from the ball.
And they reversed the call.
It was hard to see from here. Oh, yeah, great call.
Went off Deciman last.
Elston Jones trying to tip the ball out. And it went off Joe Deciman. Joe Deciman, a 2-time academic all-conference player for the Rams.
His dad's a doctor in Sudan. His family actually came over from Liberia. He wants to be a doctor of some sort down the road.
Smart kid. His sister played in the WNBA. A very athletic family.
Another steal by Avila.
Maybe the best hands in the league.
Gillen down the lane to Avila. And there's JJ for another 2. Give him 23 on the night.
Well, the Aggies have got to tighten up and again shrink those gaps in their zone, because Colorado State, especially Gillen, is just putting their head down and getting the ball to the paint. And anytime you give up paint penetration, something bad's going to happen if you're on defense. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to break your defense down. They're going to get easy shots.
Underneath, Jones has a little bit of a spot, and they called a foul as Jones tried to turn to go to the basket. 4-point basketball game. Utah State leading 59-55 over Larry Eustachy's Rams. All right, Coach, you be the judge. This is the Stu Morrill lookalike contest.
I tell you what, great fun here tonight. Sending Coach Morrill. Everyone's having fun except Stu probably right now, trying to win one more here after 17 years of playing on this home court.
That was good stuff. There he is.
You know, when I was the head coach at Weber State, we came up here and almost won one, and I went home and threw a party. That's how hard it was to win up here.
What's the key to his success? What do you think in his coaching style and philosophy?
He's a great teacher. He is a great teacher, and more than anybody in the country, you always talk about a guy's system, and a lot of times there is real no system. He does, in fact, have a very, very distinctive system.
You just saw an animated JoJo McGlasson. After another Avila steal, Gillen goes coast to coast and draws the foul.
Gillen may be the fastest player in the league inline to inline. Transfer from University of Arkansas, Little Rock, a Houston native, but he can really get it up and down.
And McGlasson's going to sit down, and back comes Chris Smith onto the hardwood. 7 and a few seconds to go here. And if Gillen can hit this, we're back to a 2-point game.
Gillen's third in the league in free throw shooting, and he gets there quite a bit. He's shooting 82%. And just by virtue of what you saw, his speed, when he gets it in the open court, he gets fouled a lot.
Moore picked him up, turnover.
Tough turnover there for the Aggies. Only their 8th of the game. Both teams with 7 turnovers before that last timeout. I talked about how efficient both these teams were. Both of them averaged just a little bit over 10 turnovers per game.
3-ball, nope. Oh, runs around, Moore gets up. And a big rebound by Jalen Moore. That almost went down.
Huge rebound in a crowd with 2 hands.
And I think that foul's going to come before the shot.
Well, what a velvety touch by Clavel here. But watch Jalen Moore go up and get a man-sized rebound in a crowd here. 2 hands. All great rebounders rebound with 2 hands. Jalen Moore, a little slide of body right now, but boy, you wouldn't know it the way he handles himself in a crowd.
He's back to the line, Chris Smith.
It's Jalen Moore's 5th rebound. He has been one of the top rebounders and scorers, top 5, top 6 all year.
Smith knocks them both down. Rams coming in 25-5, Utah State 18-11 after a slow start.
Well, the Rams have been playing kind of this small lineup. They've had Daniels out quite a bit and Avila playing the center with his great versatility. And they've had Bejarano out quite a bit playing Gillen and Clavel as the 1 and the 2. They're playing a little small ball, excuse me.
Forced up and it goes down. Clavel had to get it up with the shot clock.
Did I tell you that kid has hit more acrobatic shots? I've had him about 5 times, and that is the norm, not the exception for that kid.
Back to a 2-point game. Crowd chants Aggie. Smith, a wide open look from three, and it comes to Moore off the back of the iron.
Well, good rebounders have good instincts. We saw him get one in a crowd, and then that one where it just fell in his hands.
Perry, he's been quiet. Long rebound. Here's Clavel. Turns on the Jets and got too far under the iron.
Coach Larry Eustace not too happy with that shot. 1 on 3. Great timeout by Stu Morrill there, going into the last 5 minutes, nursing this 4-point lead.
61-59. It's actually a 2-point lead. Stu Morrill talk it over. 5:26 to go.
You know, I have real hard time here because look up at the scoreboard. It says 57-61.
Yeah.
I think that's the scorekeeper's on the juice over there. That's been about the 3rd time, and I've done games here that he's a little bit behind on that.
Might have something to do with the nice weather today.
Might be.
Let's talk about points in the paint in this game, which is just a 2-point game, and it's
State, remember, is the leading scoring team in the Mountain West Conference at a little bit over 72 points.
Collette came back on for the Aggies after the timeout, and Avila gets called with his 3rd foul.
2 of those 3 fouls have been kind of silly fouls, including that one. Stu Morrill has been very animated in his last game here tonight. He's been almost a cheerleader. He always has a real presence on the sideline. You see to his left is his associate head coach, Tim Duryea. He's been here 14 years with Stu Morrill. Actually, Stu has won over 400 games. That guy has been here for over 300 of those. If you want my opinion who the next head coach for the Aggies should be, it should be that guy right there. He's been here 14 years. The other 2 assistants, 7 apiece. That's 28 years of experience coaching at Utah State, sitting there with Stu Morrill. I think they need to look no further than the guy sitting next to him.
Rams have a chance to take the lead. They led by as many as 5 in the first half. They were down 1 at the half as we come under 5 to play. Bejarano. And an air ball comes to Moore, but he throws it away wildly. CSU back in the same situation.
Colorado State now a little bit different combination, but still a smaller lineup with 3 guards and Avila as the post player. Avila's versatility gives the coach a lot of different options with his lineup.
Deciman backs it out, 10 on the clock. Long 3. And that won't go down as Gillen misses it.
Well, the Rams have kind of gotten into if it's not an up and down game, they're having trouble attacking that zone. They're really doing a good job in transition, driving it, but when it slows down to a half-court situation, they're not doing a great job of attacking.
What a release in 2 by McGlaston. Boy, Larry Eustace is not happy as JoJo gets the crowd going here in Logan. They are now up 63-59.
McGlaston having a great night. Remember, coming off the bench, he leads the bench with an average of 22 minutes a game, and he's had some sensational games, kind of created as a classic 6th man for the Aggies this year, and he's done a nice job of accepting that role.
While we have a break, let's hear from Larry Eustace on his good friend Stu Morrill in his final game.
You start talking about great coaches, you know, you talk about Bo Ryan and you get to Stu Morrill real quick. So he's been a ton to the overall college game, and what he's done here is, you know, it's just so, God works in so many mysterious ways. He's impacted this basketball program more than any individual in the history of it.
He kind of went on and talked a little bit more about just his impact on college basketball, let alone Utah State.
Well, you talk about a guy who's done it the right way, the honorable way. Stu Morrill with one of the highest graduation rates I think 1 or 2 in the Mountain West Conference. Never a violation. He again is an old school guy. Just had a sensational career.
Graduation rate 95% over the years. He's had 21 players that were academic All-Americans 37 times. How about that, huh?
Not bad.
3:45 to go. Heck of a game here at the Spectrum. It is Stu Morrill's night here at the Spectrum. His final game in Logan. His team is up 63-59. Now the question is, when you're talking about a tournament resume, these two teams in the mix. CSU 25-5.
Well, I think with their record and their RPI, 27 is terrific. Their strength of schedule lacks a little bit to be desired, but I think they have got to show well down at the conference tournament to get in for sure.
And the same thing can be said for Utah State.
Well, their RPI strength of schedule is down a little bit. I think they've got to at least get to the conference championship game, if not win the conference championship.
Here we go, Rams with the basketball. There's 18 on the shot clock. They're down 4.
The Aggies in their matchup zone. They have got to close the gap and got to offensive rebound on the weak side now.
Clavell flashed down the lane, back out. Kidd, Bejarano, and not going to go. Avila beats Harris to the rebound, and he got another bucket. Whew.
Terrific weak side rebound for J.J. Avila. He went in there and what you call weak side seal. He put that big body on Sean Harris, pushed him under the basket, and the ball just fell in his hand. Like I said, I don't know if there's another guy I've seen for many, many years has a better feel for the game than this kid.
25 and 11 rebounds for Avila. Another double-double. McGlassen's been feeling it. Kick out. Perkins. And it gets away, but there's Harris to pick it up.
What a
on
break
the floor.
for the Aggies. Great break.
4 on the shot clock. They got to throw it up. And there's Bejarano with a key rebound.
If the Aggies match up man-to-man now, which they are.
Gillen drew the foul. Looked like he almost took too many steps, but man, did he slash through the lane.
Well, I tell you, this kid is quick as a hiccup, boy. I tell you, when he came to that ball screen, he crossed over, dribbled, and just exploded to the basket. And he doesn't do anything tricky to get fouled. He's just, you know, he's just the quickest kid out there.
So the redshirt sophomore from Houston at the line, and he misses the first.
Wow. And Larry Stacy looked like he was shot with a silver bullet there when that one didn't go down.
Gillen came into the game shooting 80% from the line. Missed them both. And there's a foul underneath. They got to call it on Collette. Avila got his hand on the basketball.
And that's Collette's 5th foul. He doesn't even get a play in. He just came in for Sean Harris. And
he got beat to the position, didn't he?
Again, J.J. Avila just putting on a show. Don't even look at his stats. Look at what he gets done away from the ball. That's the second big-time rebound that he's got just by positioning his body, by getting to the right spot. Not only does he get to the free throw line, but he takes David Collette out of the game.
The key freshman will take a seat for the rest of the night with 10.
Well, the Aggies got a great break with Gillen missing 2 free throws, an 80% free throw shooter, and couldn't cash in by getting the offense or the defensive rebound.
Avila hits them both. He's got 27.
I don't think Avila will be the player of the year in the league because I think it's going to come from either San Diego State or Boise State, but he's got to be a first-team all-league guy.
McGlasson had a step, turnaround, and he gets hammered underneath.
That's 4 now on J.J. Avila.
Larry Stacy pretty much walking the length of his bench with a tie game as McGlasson goes to the line.
JoJo McGlasson being ultra aggressive tonight. I don't know. I've had Utah State 8 times this year, and I don't know that I've ever seen him this aggressive.
Nothing but net. Aggies by 1.
He's not a great free throw shooter. Only 40 of 68 for 58% for the year. These are 2 huge ones here.
Aggies by 2 with 2:10 to go.
Boy, you wouldn't know it by that. That kid's playing with a huge confidence tonight.
Just tied his career high with those 2 points on the line. Bejarano, 3-ball. Nope. And look who gets the board, McGlaston.
All right, he needs to, oh my. Oh my.
Back on the Rams. Clavel from Gillen. 2. We're tied.
I had no idea. I was talking about how much confidence JoJo McGlass has been playing with, and that was way over the top with confidence there. He should have gotten the ball back to their point guard, Perkins, there. I tell you, that may be one reason Stu Morrill is retiring after 29 years. It plays like that. I'll tell you, back where I'm from, they'd say that'd make a preacher cuss there. I mean, under 2 minutes to go. They need a big offensive possession. His point guard standing right there, and he's played so well tonight.
Let's get you a game reset. Each team with 2 timeouts left. You see where the fouls are on the possession arrow in a tie basketball game. The Aggies were up 33-32 at the half. It is 65-all.
Well, the timeouts will loom large. Both coaches with 2 timeouts in the last minute and a half, and both of them will use them. And this one, just like we thought, Mark, going right down to the wire.
CSU is 3 of 21 from beyond the arc, and the Rams just called another timeout to continue to talk things over with 1:33 on the clock. Remember, Collette just fouled out. Avila's got 4 fouls. So does Joe Deciman. A warm day here in Logan made me think about baseball season, which is almost here. March 20th. You can see the Rockies take on the A's in spring training from Scottsdale at Salt River Fields. Don't miss the Rockies as they prep for the 2015 season here on the home of the Rocks, Root Sports.
Felt like baseball season today, didn't it, Mark? 60-plus degrees. Been a nice day to be out there shagging fly balls, I think.
But when you get inside the Spectrum, that is packed to the gills, officially a sellout at 10,240 plus. This kind of a crowd, this kind of a game, you know that NCAA basketball, it's still March Madness.
It really is. This is the last game of the year for both of these teams. Both of them headed down to Las Vegas to one of the most entertaining conference settings in all of America. The Mountain West Conference tournament is well worth the trip down there.
Avila and Bejarano, the 2 stars for the Rams. They try to come up with another win away from Moby Arena in Fort Collins.
Steve Morrill, the master of the set play, trying to go to his leading scorer, Jalen Moore there.
Well, it's knocked around. Who's got the basketball?
Jimmy Cassis, the official, says Aggies ball.
Watch what happens. It's a hot potato.
Sure looked like Sean Moore.
Sean Harris?
Sean Harris, I'm sorry, hit it out there.
That's the lone senior on this Aggies team. We've talked about Sean.
Bejarano, I believe, hit it out of Sean Harris's hand.
Well, the referees will look at this, the officials.
Well, as I said, they've been pretty consistent all night, but it looked like...
You think Bejarano got his hand in there?
I think so. I think so.
Well, this will loom large. There's 14 on the shot clock for the Aggies. Here's another look.
If it's the end out of bounds for the Aggies, remember, I've commented a couple of times tonight, Colorado State has done a great job of defending Utah State's end out of bounds play. I think Stu Morrill needs to come up with, you know, something they haven't run for a couple games that maybe the Rams may not be prepared for here.
Here's another look. You know, Bejarano certainly had his hand at least behind Harris. As we see what the call is as we await. You know, Stu Morrill, there's a chance that in retirement he may relocate to Fort Collins because he's got some kids and some grandkids there.
Well, the only child of his who is not here tonight is his son, who is expecting, he and his wife, a child, which will be he and his wife Vicky's 8th grandchild. And I think there's a real good chance that they could relocate to Fort Collins there.
Still trying to wait, see what the officials say.
Of course, both coaches have used this as a timeout and not just coaching their team on this possession, but a couple different scenarios. You've got to say, well, if it's our ball, we're going to do this. If it's their ball, we're going to do this. Utah State with 2 timeouts left. Colorado State with 1 timeout left.
Utah State's hit a little bit of a cold spell. They've hit 2 of their last 9 shots from the floor. That's why we're tied up at 65.
Well, I never wanted to throw an athlete under the bus, but Joe McGlaston taking that last ill-advised shot where they could have milked the clock a little bit. They were up 2 and ran their half-court offense. Boy, it's just like, I think he lost track of the time and the score. Now you see 2 old coaches kind of enjoying one another there. Both these guys have been around the stump a few times. Stu Morrill coaching his last game here at the Utah State.
Let's see what the call is. It's going to stay with Utah State. You saw the review, you saw all the looks that the officials had that we had.
Now, regardless of what happens on this possession, score or no score, Utah State has got to get John Gillen stopped in transition and not let him take that ball to paint.
Back to Smith. Quick 3. Nope. Clavel, backside rebound, draws the foul. Harris got under him.
We'll credit Sean Harris' effort, but now they send Clavel to the free throw line with no time off the clock, with a chance to take a 2-point lead.
That kid's athletic too, huh? Clavel, 6'4", can get up. You mentioned it during the course of the game. He's made some crazy threes, and now he's going to head to the free throw line.
I'll never forget Leonard Perry, the associate head coach there, to Larry Stacy's left, telling me he's maybe the best post offensive player they have. He said he doesn't get it in the post much, but said he can really score it when he catches it with his back to the basket.
Well, he's got 14 and 7 boards tonight.
Boy, shot that terrific. You see the way he held his follow through there till the ball went all the way through the rim. That's the way you finish your shot and not drop those hands before the ball gets to the rim.
Second, just like the first. CSU is up by 2. They haven't led since the first half.
David Collette being out of the game is huge for the Aggies right now. Their second leading scorer.
Perkins got it! Perkins with a 3-ball off the screen.
He is automatic on that ball screen. If his man goes under, he just stops and shoots it.
Avila, wow, what an off-balance shot, and he got the bounce off the glass.
I'm telling you, Kevin McHale, that kid is the Stu Morrill do, come down, execute one of his half-court sets. Look for some crossing action under the basket, a small and big cross screen possibly.
Let's watch. Rams by 1. Smith has been the go-to guy, and it's blocked from behind by Bejarano.
They got
baseball pass. Kidd, the jam! A timeout on the floor with the officials, but CSU now has a 71-68 lead.
37.6 seconds.
Well, I bet you Stu Morrill's gone over and over this in practice, this exact scenario. The Aggies have to come down and get the best shot they can, drive it as deep as they can, whether they really don't need a 3, they need a 2 for sure, and then go for the steal or foul immediately.
Everybody on their feet at the spectrum. There's Perkins, who's hit a couple of big threes. Under 30 left in regulation. Out comes Smith.
Going to the money man here.
Moore. Shot. Nope. Rebound. Harris won't go. There's Moore again. Puts it back. And Utah State will call a timeout after the bucket by Jalen Moore.
So Jalen Moore was the recipient of this set play coming off the baseline. And Bejarano made a great defensive play to get there, but ran by the play. Jalen Moore, who knows where the ball is going to come off better than the shooter, follows it in and gets the putback to put his Aggies up on a great effort by a kid I used to say was one of the best young players in the league. Mark, he's one of the best players in the league now.
And the more you know about him, the more you realize that. Look at his season numbers coming into tonight's game. As Moore has contributed 14 points for the Aggies.
He has scored in double figures all but 2 games this year. He had a 17-game double-digit scoring string broken here in their win over Wyoming, and he's not scored less than 10 points since that game. Now remember what an Achilles heel second shots have been for Utah State all night, or lack of defensive rebounding, and Colorado State has ruled the offensive glass. What is important now is not the first shot by Colorado State. Utah State has got to find someone and block out and limit them to 1 shot.
So at the half, it was 33-32. Utah State, 15.6 on the clock.
Look for Colorado State to get the ball to the speedy point guard Gillen and see if he can't create something for everyone else.
Bejarano tries to hand it off to Gillen. It gets knocked away by Perkins.
Wow, what a dangerous play by Perkins there, reaching over the shoulder. What that does now, it takes away Colorado State's ability to run the baseline. Now they have to throw the ball in from that spot. After a made basket, you can run the baseline.
The Aggies and Stu Morrill want to look at this because it might have been tipped away. See where it went off of. So they're going to take a look at this with 15 plus to go seconds-wise in the game.
I'm a little surprised the Aggies are extending their man-to-man defense here, picking up full court. I kind of thought they may come out in kind of a soft 3-quarter, like a 2-2-1 to keep Gillen from putting his head down and going the length of the court. Stu Moore obviously hasn't won 600 games because he doesn't know what he's doing. But again, I'm a little surprised at that. But they have got to A, try to get Gillen stopped in this full court situation, and B, they have got to get to the defensive glass and limit them to 1 shot.
Last time these two teams met was in the Mountain West Conference Tournament last year. And in that game, Utah State won at 73-69. They had a 16-3 run in the last minute 35.
That was one of the most unbelievable finishes I've seen. And Larry Stacey walked off the court in a daze in that game. It was just one that you'd have to see to believe. And these teams only played 1 time this year with an 11-team league. There's going to be some teams only play once. So the last time they played, it was just as tight as this one.
That was March 12th of last year.
It still looks like, boy, I tell you, Perkins took a heck of a chance there.
It's Colorado State basketball, so they will inbounds again. You see the time and the score.
I would do everything I could to keep the ball out of Gillen's hands.
Gillen and Clavel in the backcourt. Avila, Deciman near midcourt. Bejarano to inbounds. Long pass, trying to find Avila. He grabs it, dribbles around. Now Gillen dribbles and gets fouled. "12 seconds remain." So the foul on Smith.
I don't quite understand that. Number one, that was a great catch by J.J. Avila, who I said has the best hands in the league.
They went for the baseball pass, the long ball to Avila.
And then the little shovel pass to Gillen, and it looked like Colorado State reached out and fouled on purpose. I'm not sure. I mean, they're not going to call an intentional foul.
Riley Stacy is having a animated conversation.
Utah State with one timeout left, I believe.
CSU doesn't have any.
To draw up the final play. Now remember, he missed his last two.
Knocked that one down. John Gillen, the redshirt sophomore from the Houston area. Right into the fans and right down through the net.
Now look for Utah State to run it to half court. Set a high ball screen.
Ball was stolen. Perkins gives it away. And a quick foul called with 4.3 on the clock.
Ronald takes a great chance to go for the steal there, and all that did was get Darius Perkins to pick up his dribble where he couldn't get to a shot there. Really got him out of sync. Obviously, that led to that turnover.
Clavell makes it a 4-point Rams lead. There's another look. Yeah, he stops his dribble and then picks his head up. And as you said, it was out of sync, Coach.
Well, I think Bejarano's defensive mistake kind of worked in his favor. I think he made a mistake actually going out and gambling for that, but it did get Perkins out of sync.
CSU by 5. Trying to get their 26th win. Smith. Nope. And that's how it's going to end. The Rams come back. J.J. Avila and CSU spoiling Stu Morrill's final game here at the Spectrum. Timeout for the Clutch Player brought to you by Mako. There for you on the Clutch. Visit Mako.com to find a center near you. He's not a center, but he can do everything. And J.J. Avila at 29 and 13, a double-double.
A double-double, and like I said, he just put on a show with all the little things he did, not just his statistics. He is a first-team all-league guy. Kind of a shame Stu Morrill couldn't win his last game here. Over 400 wins here at Utah State, but they get to play another day down at Las Vegas.
Give me one more thought on Stu Morrill as we close out his career here at Logan.
Well, what a great ambassador for the game he's been. Not just that he's won a lot, he's been a great gentleman. He's done it the right way. Graduation rate of 95%, and I just hope the administration gives his associate head coach, Tim Duryea, a chance to be the new head coach here.
And we too say thank you, Stu. For Joe Cravens and our entire Root Sports crew here in Logan, Mark Stout wishing you a good night. What a game as CSU moves to 26-5, winning it in the waning seconds, 75-70. This has been a presentation of Root Sports. It's been a pleasure to bring you Mountain West basketball all season long from places like Logan, where Stu Morrill's legacy will live.
Vegas for the Mountain West tournament.